So in this video, we make this garment more realistic. So select the skirt and give the particle distance 5. We can give here the more gathering effect we can give here using the puckering. So select this segment puckering tool, left click and left click. Okay, so this error is it's a symmetric pattern. So when I select the left side piece, so already the right side will be. So it's a symmetric. Now this simulation. Okay, so when we give the puckering effect, so puckering will give you the more gathering effect. It's a fake gatherings are there. Okay, so let's use the tannin one. Leather. Okay, letter 5. Okay, let's get 1 inch. You can see here the more the lines will be visible. Okay, we can increase the opacity. Density is can do 1.5 inches. So here the more crease line is visible. Okay, so you can increase. So it's give the more gatherings will be there. Okay. Now the next one, we just give here the double layer. So layer clone under. Simulation on. So it's give the more thickness because always the yoke part will be the double. After that, there is the collar, the neck part. So we will give here the particle distance. Change the particle distance to 3. Yes. Simulation on. we can change we increase the length slightly here. Offset pattern outline around 2 inches. Okay. Same thing backside. Select the line with left click. Right click, offset pattern outline to increase and decrease the length. That's okay. Now the stitching we have to extend. So just press the simulation key. Okay, so it's perfect. Okay, the center stitching. Okay, so slightly stitching. Yeah. The particle distance is 3. So strengthen is perfect. Just give the screen offset 0. Okay. And the sleeves also. So 0.5 inches. 0.5 inches. Just simulation. Okay, so now okay, so this neck. Okay, we just join the part. So the stitching line will be not visible here. This stitching line. Okay, so we merge the piece, select the line with drag and drop, right click and merge. Simulation on. So there is no joint at the center in there. The same thing we will continue here. Select the edit pattern tool, drag and select this line with this line. See, blue color dot is visible. So we just merge this. So there is no stitching will be here. Same thing in yoke also. In bottom, a layer clone under. Select the edit pattern tool, drag and drop and merge. Okay, so now the bottom finishing. Okay, so the bottom finishing we can give here 0.25 distance of offset as an internal line. 0.197 is also okay, and 0.25 distance the internal lines will be there. Okay, you can see here the internal lines. Or we can create the internal lines at 1 inch distance also. Offset as internal lines, 1 inch distance. Okay. Okay, let's keep 0.75. That's the perfect. So 0.75. So we just select this piece, layer clone under. Okay, after that just delete, cut the piece, delete that much part, and stitch with this part. Okay, so it's the finishing will be there at the bottom. Same thing, right click, layer clone under, left click, select the line at which you have created at 0.75 distance, cut, delete the upper part, and the segment stitching tool, stitch this. Okay, the simulation on. Okay, so you can see here the facing part. So the bottom will be more finish. That same thing we can do here in the neck also, in sleeves also. Select the sleeves, right click, layer. First we just give the internal lines. Right click, offset as internal lines, 0.75 distance. Press OK. Or we can do the 0.25 distance also. Okay. So here let's keep 0.25 inch distance. Offset as internal line, 0.25 distance. Okay. Yeah, layer grown under. Then just cut the piece. Delete this piece and stitching with bottom part. Simulation on. Okay, so we are done the finishing and sleeves also. Now the finishing is required only in here. So let's connect internal lines, offset as internal lines, same 0.25 distance only. Or we can keep at 0.75 also, or the half inch distance, offset as internal lines, 0.5. Okay. So just select the piece, layer grown under, delete, cut, and just stitch. Okay, So it's finished. The same thing. Now we select the piece. Offset as internal line, 0.5 distance. Now select the three pieces together. Layer grown under. Let's select the three pieces, internal line together. Cut. Delete the pieces and the stitch. Okay. Okay, now the simulation is out. Okay, so it's done. Now the top stitching. Okay, let's give the top stitching. We have collar part also, not a collar, the neck finishing part. Here we just increase the thickness. Select the thick texture surface. Let's change the edit thickness rendering, so 1.5. You can see here that increase the thickness. If we unstrengthen, okay, so it will be, let's see here the thickness. We just strengthen. Okay, so it's a refinish. Now we can just give the top stitching. Okay, so the top stitching part. Select the segment top stitching. Here the top stitch. Here the top stitch. You can see the top stitch. Okay, the pink color highlighted means there are already top stitches there. Here in neck, in back also. Okay, now the top stitching thickness settings. So the top stitching at 1.32 distance, very nearest to the edging, that lines. Double click. The thread thickness is 120. You can see here the thread thickness. One more thing that changes, the 3D option. So 3D give more depth. See, the realistic depth will be there. Okay, so each and every where the stitching will be there. So here also the stitching will be visible. Okay, here we have to do some changes in stitching. Select the edit top stitching tool. and just flip. Okay, because we want stitching down side. Okay, not upper side. Okay, so here also select and flip, so the stitching is visible here. It's perfect. This one is also perfect. Okay, here also the stitching is visible, so we just change here also the stitching, flip the bottom side here, same thing the other side. Yeah, it's perfect. Now we just the final rendering option, select option. Okay, let's change the fabric first, then we give the rendering option. Okay, so for the fabric, for the bottom we just select the denim, woven denim. Okay, the simulation will be on. According to the fabric, you can see the looks and fall also change. Okay, so it's perfect. Now here top stitch also we will change. Okay, when the simulation is on, the top stitch are not visible. Now you can see the top stitch is visible. Now the top part will use the knit cotton jersey plush. Simulation on. We can use this one also, the crochet. Okay, so the crochet one is perfect. Yeah, here select the piece here under. Okay. Keep the simulation on. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so now the next option is just select. Okay, the top stitch we just change the top stitch color first of all. After that we just give the final rendering. Okay, so the final. So here top stitch color is perfect, but to this card we have to change the top stitch color. So for that we just use the top stitch, select this top stitch, select this one, copy, and dash So we just change the color here, this top stitch. Choose the color, top stitch, dark yellow. Okay, so the finishing is done. The skirt is completed. Now the next part is the high resolution garment. Always before the rendering, select this option, high res garment. All the options are correct. Press OK. Simulate the garment. Stop the okay, so now it's perfect. So let's select the pose. This pose. This one is perfect. Select the rendering option, refresh. So the settings, use the image, the current view, correct. Select the size 1280720. Okay. Transparency, select the transparency option. Image format is PNG. Now the camera settings not require any changes. This one is also fine. Yeah, this settings just change noise threshold 0.001%. Maximum rendering time 10 minutes. Light very high, material very high. Select these options. Yeah, only that. After that, just zoom, ease. Okay, now it's perfect in frame. We just start the rendering option. You can see the process here.